My name is Adam, and I want to welcome everyone to the 2022 Lakeside Candidates Forum. We have 8 candidates here tonight to introduce themselves and answer a few questions so that we all might make a more informed vote this November. Each of these candidates has earned their spot on the ballot by collecting signatures on a petition and submitting paperwork to City Hall. Public office is very hard thing to commit to, so I think we should all be very appreciative of all these candidates here tonight. We have provided some cards on your tables, and throughout the meeting we invite you to write down questions you may have, and we have a couple containers that will start rotating around the room. Please put your name on there if you'd like. Please put a candidate who you might are most interested in hearing a response from, and we'll try to direct the question to them. Thank you very much for that. After these introductions, our moderator Bradford here has 3 prearranged questions that the candidates all got on Sunday evening, I believe. And each of them will have an opportunity to respond to those 3 questions first. At that point, we're going to take about a 5 or 10 minute break, and we invite everybody to get cookies, coffee, whatever you like. During that time, we're going to sort the questions, and that's your last opportunity to provide a question. Then we're going to sit back down, and we're going to start going through those questions you guys provided down the line, and we'll go about 30 or 40 minutes, depending on how much time we have, and get as many questions and answers as possible. And then we're going to try to wrap the meeting up around 8 p.m. So if everybody understands or no one has a question, we'll get the ball rolling. No one? All right, Bradford.
All right, thank you, Adam. All right, gang, great turnout, man. I'm really impressed with a full house here. It's really good to see everybody. I want to thank everybody for being here. It's an important part of our community that we're working on here, and I especially want to thank all the candidates for volunteering their time to come and to sit with us all and answer our questions. As you know, you've seen the questions. They're somewhat in depth. Do your best to, if you would, answer them thoroughly, as thoroughly as you can. I know it can get a little bit rushed, so if I see that maybe there's something that didn't get answered, I might prompt you for that, if that's okay. Is that good for all of you? Okay. I'm not gonna be asking any other questions than what are already on there, but I just want to make sure that everybody gets a chance to hear what you have to say on the topic at hand. On the matter of the audience, I want to invite you all to be as quiet as possible. We don't want this to be an audience forum. This is a candidate forum. If you would, please reserve your comments for the cards, and we'll do our best to get all the questions answered if you submit a card with a question on it. And we'll try to get all of those before the panel here this evening. Okay, so right now what we're going to do is we're going to allow the candidates each to introduce themselves. We're going to start from the left, go to the right. We also have, when we get into the actual questions that we've prepared, we're just going to go right down the line. Okay. Now there's not that many questions that we've prepared. So once we get into the audience questions, and it's looking like there's going to be plenty of them. So I want to give everybody the opportunity to be first to answer the question, because there's a little bit of a difference there. So I think you'll all have a chance to be first in order to answer the questions, and I think everything will go smooth with it. So we're going to start off with your introduction, who you are, your experience as a leader, and then we want to reserve the issues of the campaign for the questions. Okay. So just your name, who you are, and your experience as a leader previously, and what you think might qualify for this. Okay. With that, I guess we go right to Sherry. Yes.
All right. My name is Sherry Kinsey, and I'm running for the position of mayor. I have extensive bookkeeping and office experience, as well as emergency dispatching. I've been here for about 12 years. My husband and I both moved my parents here. We've been trying to be as involved as we can be in the community. And I'm anxious. I'm excited to see the changes that are coming. I really am.
Thank you.
Hi, my name is Karen Mavis Lee Waldron Hearn. There's a Zelda in there somewhere. I drove truck for 43 years, and my CV handle was The Witch. I'm running for the 2-year term for the city council. My husband, Robert Hearn, he's also known as Rooster Hearn, so you guys know him on Facebook. We've been up here for several years in vacationing. We have friends and family in the Coos Bay, Saunders Lake, Lakeside area. And in 2018, we decided to come up here to escape the smoke and the fires and the heat from the valley. We moved up from Corning, California. And we got on the Facebook page, What's Up Lakeside, back in 2018 and said we were rude, crude, and socially unacceptable. And y'all say that's great. Well, welcome to the city, you'll fit right in. So we bought property, built a shop, we had a manufactured home built in January 2020, and that's when COVID shut everything down, so we didn't really get out and meet everybody. Now that COVID has opened up, while we're meeting people, we want to do some good stuff for the city here. And we are responsible citizens that we do not want what is happening in California to happen here in Oregon.
Thank you, Karen, and if I can intervene, can everybody hear okay back there? We elected against PA for all the complications that can result in that. So if the one thing I invite you, if you don't hear, if you can't hear, go ahead and say so, okay? We'll try to keep the volume up. Okay.
I'm Jackie Smith. I'm going for a 2-year term for city council. My husband and I moved here in 2018. I had a friend that lived here in 2015, and she said, hey, we got a lake, let's rent a pontoon from Ringo's and go hang out. So we went on the lake, and I fell in love. The first house I found that came up for sale, I bought it. It was the best decision we ever made. I am originally from Everett, Washington, so I come from a Navy city, so the ocean is my love, and I can't live away from it. I have 20 years of retail management experience, so I am very aware of how nice and also how mean the general public can be. I was a leader, I've done budgets, I've done filing, I've also sat down and ran multiple businesses on my own. I'm used to having to make hard decisions, and I just want to help make this place a better city than what it is. I help out as much as I can. I volunteer constantly. I volunteer at City Hall. I've helped the Lakeside Riders with the children's event last summer. They also sat down and had dinners delivered to seniors and vets, and my husband and I, that's how we spent our Thanksgiving. So I just can't wait to help with the differences that are going to happen in Lakeside.
Thank you.
Hi, my name is Mary Kenyon. I am a 42-year resident of Lakeside. Grew up here. My family moved here in the early 50s. They've been here since then. My grandpa used to log for Bohemia, the mill that was here in town, like hot air balloon. It's pretty cool. And yeah, I am a 20-year pharmacy technician. So I deal with difficult people on a daily basis. Very fluent in that, so I can handle tough situations. I've done inventory management, scheduling, all of that, very puzzle-oriented. And yeah, I'm here for the same reason everyone else is. We want to make the city a little better. And I've been here long enough, it's time for me to get back to the community, so that's why I'm here.
Thank you.
I'm Alicia Douglas. I'm running for the 4-year term for City Council. I moved here about 3.5 years ago in Ireland. He was the city councilor last election. He passed away. And I want to continue his vision on making Lakeside a better place for now and future generations. Moved here from Virginia Beach, Virginia, also on the coast. We love the ocean. I realize Lakeside is a gem and we have a lot to offer here. And I've lived all over the country, so I've seen all different types of towns, big and small. And I just want us to make it better for future generations.
Very well, thank you. Go ahead.
Sarah Coates, I think most people know my name. I am the owner, sole owner now of Coates Construction Excavation here in town. I moved here in 2013 from Reedsport, where I was born, raised, the whole shebang. My family, though, was one of the founding families of Lakeside, the Belchers. So yeah, we've been around. I was a Girl Scout troop leader for 6 years. I have also, for 7 years now, run our local trunk retreats, which I need candy for people. I just like to be heavily involved in my community, and I've been a city councilor since last February, and I'd like to just hold my 4-year position and keep trying to make that change that Lakeside needs.
Thank you very much.
My name's Alan Pointer. I grew up in Reedsport and moved to Coos Bay, then to Eugene, then to Salem, then back to Cresswell, and then back down here. I came back down here in 2017, gone for almost 30 years. In the early days, I fished in the lake, rode motorcycles on the dunes, did all that stuff long before there was an NRA even, and enjoyed all of that. I've been on council for 4 years, and running for another 4-year term.
Thank you.
Okay, I'm Charlene Higgins, and I've been on the council for 9 years now. I'm working on my 10th year, so the longest person who's going to do this so far. I'm a native Oregonian. I was born in Portland and raised in the country, or out on the farmland, Beaverton, Hillsboro, and graduated from Beaverton. And then I moved to Coos County in '97 with my 3 kids, and moved to Lakeside in 2013, and was appointed onto the council right after I moved here. So I just love this town. That's a great place. I don't know. I mean, I could go on for way too long. So.
You have plenty of time left.
I apologize if I'm a little tired today. I just got in last night for my mother's funeral. While we were up there, a wildfire caused us to have to evacuate their house. All the animals and everything in the middle of this, so it's been an exhausting few days. And I'm very grateful we live in a place that is not dry.
Thank you very much. Okay, so we're going to move on to the questions that we've prepared, and we're going to start with Sherry here. And if I don't make it clear, or if you have a question about the question, feel free to ask and delineate, but I'll get right to that. So the first question that we've offered is, what previous life experience do you feel you possess which qualify you for the position of city council person when married? And which 2 goals or objectives do you intend on utilizing to accomplish those goals? Okay?
I have several years of office experience, as well as emergency communications and bookkeeping. I have worked in highly confidential jobs, and I have worked in the hospitality industry, so I've dealt with all kinds of people. I have a broad knowledge of how to provide support while enhancing the city. I'm currently a city councilor. My first goal is to bring the city into complete transparency and compliance with the intent of moving forward. We have younger people that are moving here. We have our recreation and tourism is unreal, and it's time to go forward. We need to promote it and move on. My second goal is to work on the homeless issue and improve the relationship with the Coos County Sheriff's Office and see if we can encourage them a little. We've been given some encouraging information, so we're hoping that comes forth, but just want to be able to make things better. I believe that I can do that job.
Thank you, Sherry. Would you like me to repeat the question, or would you?
No, I've got it written out here.
Thank you,
I've been a member of several organizations and various offices, from committee heads to secretaries to president. Throughout the life, I have 43 years of dealing with truck drivers and receivers and shippers and going across country and trying to figure out what to do when. I was a lead person for 15 years for Northern California Trucking Company, hauling wood chips and shavings. I was dispatching other trucks, dealing with the mills and the drivers there. And then I drove for Walmart for 9 years, and I was chosen to be the driver representative to go back to Bentonville to solve issues affecting the drivers. And then we also had a forum in Grantsville, Utah that we did every couple of months to discuss the problems between the drivers and the dispatch. For Lakeside, I would like to help accomplish the updating and collaboration of the city code and ordinances. They're way out of line. They were built back in 1974, I think, when it was incorporated. They kind of got put up to date in the 90s, and then they're just lying there dusty. I would like to accomplish the branding of the advertising and commercial potential of the Lakeside area. We have a lot to offer. And I would also like to get the neighborhood watch-in so we can all meet our neighbors and then watch out for everybody who needs watching. Does that make sense?
Thank you, Karen. Real quickly, are the question jars and boxes going around? Are they still in motion? Okay. Very good. Okay.
So, could you repeat the question again, please?
Yes. What previous life experience do you feel that you possess which qualify you for the position of city council? And which two goals or objectives do you intend on utilizing to accomplish those?
So again, I worked in retail management, so I, again, have dealt with a lot of general public. I've had to deal with a lot of people above me. I've had to manage people above me. I've had to manage people below me. I've had to manage multiple businesses at one time. I've had to do multiple budgets at one time. And I have a lot of office skills. So I really want to help the community and help get the city hall back to where it should be. I want to help with getting the office organized, because I know that the office is really not organized and it's been neglected for decades. And I know that that is one goal that I've been working on throughout the year, trying to help with City Hall and volunteering. One of my goals is to work with the city manager and find out about a city tax and see about how we work up to getting what is comparable for our city, because we really need a city tax. And the other one is I want to get involved with the sewer plant, because I know we have that big, huge grant. And I just kind of want to know where it's at, what's going on with it, kind of help see if I can help the city manager help get this moved along and get this built so we can get it going.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
My life experience is growing up here. I've seen Lakeside through many, many different transitions, and I would like to see it more like it was when I grew up. At 6 years old, I was running the streets with my cousins on BMX bikes, not fearful of something happening to me. It needs to be more kid-friendly, safer. So that's really my life experience, and how I think that I would be able to help improve the city that way. My main goal is the homeless situation, so that's the first issue that I would like to help address. It's dirty. It's not pleasant for tourism, for anything. So that's step one for me. And then the
We're
second.
having a hard time hearing you. Could you speak up a little bit?
Okay.
Thank you.
I want to clean up the homeless camps. That's my first objective. Secondly, I would like to see more events take place in Lakeside. I would like to see the boat drags come back, lumberjack competition, things of that nature. So I'd like to see more events to get our community together and to bring in new people.
Any other things that you say when you were a child growing up here that you miss seeing? Any other things you can expand on that were maybe prevalent then and not now?
Can't hear you.
I asked if there were other things that when she was young, she said she would like to see things more like they were when she was younger. I just asked her to expand on those a little bit and tell us what those things might be.
I think that if it was a safer community, if there wasn't so many people, creepy and hoodies cruising around on bicycles, that, you know, kids might be allowed to go play outside again. So, like ride their bikes down to the ice cream shop. Like those types of things the kids should do. Not be stuck in their house playing video games.
They should. All right, thank you very much. Anything else?
My previous life experiences, I'm an Army veteran. I got out about 16 years ago. I've seen several different countries, been involved in different cultures, so I know how to deal with different types of people. I am one of the founders of the Lakeside Riders, and we volunteer and help get things up and running in Lakeside, doing events. Doing events. We facilitated the $118,000 grant for the children last year. I also own my own business in accounting. Been doing that for 2 years now. I've had experience with the restoration business, building up departments from nothing, creating an organizational system and staffing, and getting it running and making it productive. All right, and I want to see that a lot of the ordinances get updated, because there are some ordinances on there that really need some updating. Get Lakeside cleaned up. There's a lot of properties that get cleaned up a little bit better. And the homelessness. So, yeah, try to get that under control.
If you would, your two goals were the cleanup and
Update ordinances.
update ordinance.
Update ordinances, clean up the properties. Nice or the homelessness.
Okay, thank you.
Life experience. I am a founding member of Oregon's Bay Area Jeep Club, where we are 400 members strong currently in the past 2 years that we have started. I probably also know all of the city code zoning and ordinances for city, county, and state in your local area, probably better than your city manager. Just because that's my job. So yeah, I know Lakeside quite well. My goal is just to basically kind of add to what other people have been saying. I would really like to bring in a more sustainable commerce, more businesses that can survive not only our summers with our wonderful tourists, but also winters with the locals, which is very hard to do. Lakeside is going to essentially go broke, and I think we need to find ways to bring in money, sustainable, to keep the town going. And I am all in favor of us trying to get a property tax, and cleaning up the town and the streets is wonderful if it can bring in businesses and people that want to stay here, and we don't chase them off or make them close. So my goals are kind of simple, I guess. That's it.
On the topic of winter business, do you have any ideas that we might that might stimulate that?
Oh, you know, if we could get probably more restaurants. You know, we recently lost Bonnie's Cafe, which is a shame, because her food was good. But, you know, something else that the locals could use, you know, more local maybe shops, more restaurants, not necessarily bars, that's depressing in the winter. But, you know, just something more that the locals would be more than happy to use, more than just the tourists, you know.
Okay. Good, thank you. Sir?
Okay, when I lived in Crestwell, I served on their planning commission and their airport commission for several years. I served on the South Lane Fire Rescue Board for several years. I served on the Eugene Saturday Market for a couple of years when I was their chairman of the board the last year I was there. And I've been on the council 4 years. I was appointed in 2018 and then elected at the end of 2018. So that's kind of my history. And my goals are keeping the city fiscally sound while citizens' requirements as we can, and to keep the city compliant with the county and state and federal laws.
Thank you. Your board time with the Saturday market,
Yes,
do you see anything there that might serve us here in the pattern that they use?
it's quite a different world. It's professionally run, and there's 600 members, and it's a whole different world. I don't really, and that's been a question I've been asked sometimes. But I don't see any way to transfer that experience over to Lakeside.
What about a general event and similar things on a smaller scale? Do you see opportunity for that?
That would be nice. It just takes volunteers and people who are put in the time and effort to do it, and that's been a little short here. Lots of volunteers, but organizational skills is such a difficult to find.
Okay, good. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, when I lived up in Cornelius, I was the PTA president. I was also on the local school committee, which was an elected position, and the 21st Century Site Council. A lot going on in the world of education back then. I was also asked to run for school board, but I moved down here then, so I did not do that. Moving down here, I lived at Spinreel. Jim Buggy Reynolds up there. I was manager there for 3 years, and during that time, I was with the North Bend Chamber of Commerce, during the tourism committee, and also was involved with the new Carissa when it washed ashore after they blew it up. Quite frustrating. Quite frustrating. And for a while, I was president of the chamber here in Lakeside in 2000, for a very short while. And I lost, like I said before, I've been a member of the council now for 9 years. So, to enjoy politics. Okay, so first project that I'm interested in is making sure our wastewater treatment plant is built and built correctly, utilize the funds as best we can, and to obtain the funding we need for the remainder of the project. We won't have enough. Second thing is I'd like to build a museum. I would like to start taking interviews of people who have the stories here in town, who've grown up around here, and make sure we document everything and have it for history. And then we do need a museum. It's a fascinating town. There's a lot going on. And I run out of time.
I'm going to give you just a little more time. Can you expand on the museum and what you think that might do for the community that would help our growth?
Well, I'd like it to be a history, cultural, and art museum, so that we can preserve and document the history of this town and all the fascinating components of it, especially before we start any more of our citizens, because they're getting older and passing on, and we don't want to lose the information, because it's so good. History is an important thing to have in any English, just to know the history of that community. I'm sure you all know what I mean by that.
A lot of history here.
Oh, there's
Learning more every day. Thank you very much. Did that conclude your?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. All right, we're going to move on to the second question. How are we doing there, Adam, for time?
We are perfectly on schedule.
How about it? A little more fire. All right, so we're on to question number 2.
Can I switch I got to switch my battery real quick, sorry.
Yeah, and we'll.
Stand up and speak.
With the standing, no problem.
Okay, we're good to go.
All set?
Yep.
Okay, on to question 2. I'm going to remind you to stand this time and project as best you can. Here, and myself, I don't hear that well either, so I don't need to. So question 2, a city requires, I'm going to start off with a statement. A city requires financial resources to operate effectively and grow as a community. I think we all get that. So knowing the fiscal challenges of any rural municipality these days, okay, do you favor a prospective tax-based source of revenue for growth or a more containment-oriented strategy to maintain the current fiscal status? Okay? Should I read it again, or we got it? Everybody hear it back there? Okay.
I don't think they heard you, Brad, for the audience. I saw a lot of head shakes.
I'll read it again. In fact, I'll move your way. So everybody up here has it. So a city requires financial resources to operate effectively and grow as a community. Knowing the fiscal challenges of any rural municipality, do you favor a prospective tax-based source of revenue for growth or a more containment-oriented strategy to maintain their current business status. Okay? And we're going to start with Karen.
Or Mavis, or Lee, or Zelda, yeah. The witch, yes.
Somebody in town has
Outside
that.
of my truck, nobody ever knocked on my door wanting to know if I wanted company. So, COVID has changed forever the way the business is and cities do their work now. Remote access and homelessness, the lack of workers, especially in the service industry, and lack of programs that have brought money in the past into the city have all changed, and that's not really good. Plus, we have state mandated programs without any funding. We're supposed to do that by the state, but they don't give us the money to do that. Inflation and the closing of the Shutter Creek Penal Institution, that's put stress on the town of Lakeside. That income is not coming in anymore. There's no going back to the good old days. Lakeside has had many changes in its history, from being the glory days of a Hollywood hideaway to a working town with a lumber mill, and now it's a small community struggling to maintain its comfortable character. But it will survive, it always has. Therefore, I do not see a containment strategy working, but new income in the form of businesses or taxes or both is what is needed, and that's what I'll be working for.
Thank you. And would you, taxes or businesses, which would you favor for your choice of revenues?
Seeing how the business community is still struggling, it would probably be the taxes would be the primary objective, unfortunately.
Thank you. And since that's a little bit of a hot topic, do you think that that there's a realistic means for achieving that in the course of your term?
I think so, yes.
Okay. All right. On to you.
I agree with what Mavis said. I think that we could utilize any way possible to get taxes and also to get businesses in here and people in here to help our businesses with the transient taxes. I think that we should really look hard into a city tax, just because we are one of the rural communities that is one of the biggest cities that does not have a city tax, and our city is going to run out of funds very fast. And me personally, I don't want us to go back to county, because if we go back to county and we're not a city, our streets and our homes and everything's going to get worse, because we still won't have the help we have here. With having a city council, with having a city hall and city councilors, we have an opportunity to make changes within our community that benefit our community and that affect the people that live in our community. So for right now, I really want to help establish a city tax that all of us can potentially afford, and help get those funds going, so that when we get to a place where we're not strangling to find a way to not go bankrupt, and we have some kind of cushion to help, that we can step out and be able to get more advertisement out, and we can get more funding to get more advertisement out, and we can actually attract people to come in and maybe want to build more housing in our town and get more growth, to get more commercial properties, so we can grow. And I don't mean like I want us to grow into this huge city, but we do need some kind of growth so that we can keep our city, because our city is a gem. I don't know anywhere else where we have a lake, we have a forest, we have the dunes, and we have the ocean within 2 miles of our town. Like, it is literally a gem, and I really, really, really want to help keep that gem. So I'm going to work as hard as I can in the 2 years that I have to be able to get that established and get as much information I can and answer as many questions I can for the citizens when they have questions about it, and utilize our city manager and work with her to be able to help her get a hold of people too. And if that means I have to sit at City Hall and talk on a phone for an entire week, 8 hours every day, I'll do that to help our town.
And do you feel like that it's likely that could happen within the term of the seat? And which do you favor as the most accessible for an infusion?
I don't know if in 2 years I can actually get into play, but I do want to, in 2 years, be able to at least get the ball rolling and get it going, so that if I don't run in 2 years, or if I do run again in 2 years, at least we don't have to try to play catch up. We're already halfway there, and we have the place to go. So if I don't go for, again, the person who takes my seat next already has that foundation going, and they can keep going with it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Everybody hearing okay?
Again, we'll ask you to stand.
Oh, sorry.
Sorry. Yeah, go ahead.
I am leaning towards the containment strategy personally. And the reason being that there's already been a sewer rate increase and there's more of that to come. And there's a lot of changes being made in the city currently, and there's more on the horizon. I just got to sit on the budget committee this last year, and we have a new city manager that's doing an amazing job of collecting funds that weren't getting collected before. So she's doing a phenomenal job of that, and I would like to see what kind of changes that we could make as a community with the businesses going forward, because there's a lot of people in town that aren't going to be able to afford the sewer rate increases along with a tax at this time. I'm not saying that it's completely off the table, but I would like to see over the next 2 years at least where we go with our current method.
Remain standing if you would. So your answer is that you feel that more of a for lack of a better term, status quo, but are you favoring business growth as a part of that?
I am favoring business growth
So
as a part of that.
business growth being the primary
and
source.
tourism. I believe that there's going to be a lot more tourism that goes along with that.
Mhm.
So I am more in favor of that at this time.
So you're more in favor of those as more opposed to the tax?
Yes.
Okay. Thank you for clarifying. I appreciate that. Okay.
Well, I know we need to grow the businesses in town. We need to promote tourism, but I feel that really the way for us to get out of the financial jam we're in is a property tax. I know it's not popular. Nobody wants to pay it. I'm a homeowner and I would have to pay it too. But if it gets us the resources we need to make this town better, whether it's to go towards the roads or get sidewalks on North Lake Road all the way down to Osprey, or just get a code enforcement so somebody can go around and start issuing citations for those that are not obeying the ordinances. We need that with the tax. I know it's a bad word, but it's needed.
And do you feel that within the term that you can accomplish that or help accomplish that? That's an attainable goal?
Within 4 years, yes.
To implement
I believe
that.
it is. I mean, even if it's just a small amount, a small amount can go a long way. Right now, we're just draining the bank and not putting anything back in. It's not going to look good for our town. So.
Okay, thank you. Move over here so I can.
Well, I think I'm loud enough for the people in the back. I'm gonna just keep basically adding on to what they say, and I am going to keep saying that Lakeside is dying. I believe Lakeside and Dune City, I think, are the only 2 towns in the state of Oregon that don't have a property tax yet. I could be wrong, but I know there's only 2 of us left. As much as I'd love to rely on businesses, it's not feasible at this time. And without Shutters Creek bringing us money in, we're relying on grants and loans, and that's not a way to conduct business. We have to do something to fix our infrastructure. I think we have, what, $100,000 in sewer pipes that need to be replaced. We need to keep the current sewer plant going until the new one is built. We'd all love sidewalks and fun things like that, but the city needs basic care, and the only way to do that is through a tax. And I mean, I have a fairly decent sized house. I will be paying just as much as everybody else, plus my commercial lot as well. And I think it's based on the assessment of our homes, it would be a fair tax rate, and that it's needed, I think.
So remain standing if you would, please. So if I understood you, then you're proposing property tax?
Oh, yes.
Okay.
Based on the assessed dollars that our houses are worth and our property.
And you got, since you got a little bit of experience in this seat, can you say or tell us how you think specifically that might help us? The first, maybe the first most popular, or most.
Well, that makes too popular. I think we just need to keep, right now, Lakeside just needs the bare essentials. I mean, with all the museums and sidewalks and all this fun recreation and all these awesome businesses, but how are we gonna do that when our sewer pipes can't keep up and our water pipes can't keep up? And, you know, we don't have functioning streetlights on 8th Street. Well, that's all minor stuff that can be repaired for pennies, but we don't need to go to get a loan from the government or another grant to pay for it. I mean, that's why we need taxes. You wanna use that sidewalk? Well, pay a little tax and you'll have a beautiful sidewalk.
Okay, thank you very much.
Well, I think the best thing we could have is a property tax, but I think that is extremely unlikely because of state laws and previous court decisions, and the fact that it would have to be voted on by the people here, and whether that would pass or not is questionable. So I think we have to work with what we've got for the most part. Businesses don't come here because we want them to come here. They come here because they think it can be a viable business and make a little money and make a living. So we just need to produce a climate that brings more tourists in, more people into the area, and try to increase the numbers that we use in business. That would be something that would appeal to someone starting a business. My wife and I have owned a restaurant, and my wife's done a cake decorating business for years in the Salem area, and you have to have a good client base before business works. That's what we promote.
There's two things that I just want to go with. One, you mentioned that the state laws might interfere with our ability. How and specifically, or if you can give us a little bit more clear understanding of how it might be a problem.
Well, when Measure 50 was passed, it locked tax rates for cities into what they had the previous year. Lakeside had a zero tax rate the previous year. We're locked into that. We had one opportunity to have an election and try to pass a tax base, and it did not pass. And people from the state and people from the League of Oregon cities have constantly told me that there's no way around that. It would take a change in the state constitution. In other words, a vote by people, by all the people in the state need to change. So, and actually, Sarah, there were 13 cities, and I think there still are that are in that position. We were the biggest one. But that's what we're on for the moment. Now, our new city manager thinks she sees a way to be able to do that. I certainly hope she does. I certainly would support that. But it looks good, and I think we just need to exist on our existing sources of funds and go from there.
Would you feel differently if she were able to
Circumvent that. I can believe that 100%.
Thank you, appreciate it.
It's okay, but
It'll be fun. Just talk loud.
I'm against the tax, quite frankly, and I know it's gonna take a lot of money to, as things increase in cost, it'll take more money every year for us to operate our city government. However, now, I don't think it's the time to put forth a tax. We have a lot of people on a fixed income, a very fixed income. And already we're seeing fees and costs and inflation that is just burning people back. And they really can't afford anymore at this time. So I'm not supportive of going with the state tax law. I've watched this place survive now for 9 years, and I'm aware of the fact it survived now a lot longer than that without a tax. I think that if we really watch our spending, if we really tightly get real frugal with what we're doing, because there are a lot of things that I think that aren't really that necessary for, to have, to keep us running. We don't have to have a very elaborate thing, but we do want our people to make it. We don't want our citizens to flash. And so I think that we just really need to watch our spending, and I don't know what's going to happen on down the road, but right now with the current inflation rate and what's going on in our country, now is not the time.
So you're in favor of containment, and are there specific areas that you think we could draw in a little bit where we might increase our spending?
It's not so much that it's any one solid big area. It's kind of a little things along the way. There's small things, if you really get in and take a look at our budget, that where we can shave it off, and every little bit adds up. And, you know, I'm not happy, and I've not been supportive of some of the raises recently, because I thought they were extreme. And I'm not gonna use some money. I'm not supportive of the rebranding of our city, because I don't think that's money that needs to be spent on that right now. It's not really grateful. We have plenty of people here in town. Our town is right now so saturated, we can't find a house. You know, I mean, there's not housing available for anybody who wants to move here. No point in promoting that until we have a reason. So, that's it.
Thank you, I appreciate that. And you gave us a perfect segue for our third question.
We got Sherry
Sure. Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, I forgot we
I was so going there.
Thank you, Val, for pointing that out.
Throw me under the bus.
I'm not outrun the bear, just like outrun you.
Well, I do favor a perspective,
Jim, right?
a prospective tax-based source of income. One of the things that people really complain about is we have no law enforcement. And it takes money. Everything takes money. They want the roads fixed. Everybody wants to see the sidewalks fixed. People want to be able to do things around here and kind of clean the city up, and it does, it takes money. So as we are right now, that's not going to happen. Nobody's going to volunteer to be a cop out here. It just don't happen. So, but if we had a tax base and we had some income we could generate, we could get some law enforcement, be it a city police or whatever, work something with the county. But that's going to be our only way to get that. And I do not agree with Councilor Higgins. I think that well, I won't go there. But we need that. And also, we actually have confirmation from the state that we have no property tax, not a zero tax. So we can do this, and it can be done in this time frame. Mayor position's only for 2 years, and if I was to survive, I don't want to leave something for somebody else to clean up. I would like to get our city cleaned up. I would like to have some income, and we can attract more businesses, we can attract more tourists, and just take care of business. It's time to move forward.
Thank you. And do you think that with a tax proposal, property or otherwise, do you think that would help us? Do you think we would be realistic for us to get law enforcement in this community?
I do.
Within, do you think it would be within the course of pretty substantially soon after the tax, or do you think it might be?
It might take a year, it might take 2. I honestly, because I don't know anything about the numbers right at this moment, and I am a homeowner even, you know, my name is on that house, so it would affect me, and I really can't afford it. I'm on Social Security, but I know what the city needs, and we want law enforcement. It's not going to come handed to us free.
Certainly not. Certainly not. Thank you. I appreciate it very much. Okay, so now we're on to our third question. Is everybody feeling fresh? We do have an intermission usually following. So we're going to go, is it JC? Jackie. Okay. Sorry.
It's okay, I've got it my whole life.
That was my fault.
It's a twofer. I get 2 names for the price of one.
There you go. Good one then.
I know. If you can think of another one, we'll add another one too. Or we'll come up with something.
So we come right into the question of identity for Lakeside. Okay? Basically, the city of Lakeside and the outlying areas possess, in my opinion, a vast array of attractions and natural resources, which make it poised to be a star attraction to the coastal region of southern Oregon. And it somewhat is, but what do you see as our key identifier for the purpose of brand? And why do you feel that?
Well, I think it's already started with Ken Ireland's hard work and Shirley B. and Renee Talwin with the Lakeside Riders. Ken Ireland had this amazing idea of getting people from the city of Lakeside to the dunes. And since he's done that, our tourism has just skyrocketed, and I think that that's helping put us actually on the map. So I know that I've spoken with some friends. They watch my Facebook page. They're on some of the ones for Lakeside because they know where I live and they know that I'm in love with it. And I share pictures of the ocean all the time, so they're kind of curious. And I've got friends coming from Washington and from California just so that they can stay inside the city of Lakeside to take their ATVs from the county park and actually drive it on a road legally to get to the dunes, and they don't have to go stage it. They don't have to lock their cars down and then undo and then come with their, it just makes it easier. And I think that Ken Ireland already started it with the dunes, and I think that's going to really launch us into getting our name on the map, just for the fact that we're one of the only cities where you can actually drive an ATV on the road. And I think and besides, the celebrities of making 10 Mile Lake in the first place.
So you're in favor of knowing that there's other, the lake and the food industry and entertainment and these things. You're in favor of the ATVs or the Oregon Dunes as our key identifier for
Both,
Lakeside?
actually, because
Okay.
they're tied in now. Thanks, thanks to all of our hard work that they're both tied in now. So, Lakeside, you can get to the dunes, and the dunes go throughout the whole entire coast. So, they can go from Spin Roll and go all the way down to Horse Falls now. So I think it's both.
Okay, good, thank you. I can't read until I get real close there. Please go ahead.
I believe that the recreation, outdoors and recreation should be our branding.
Specifically?
The dunes and 10 Mile Lake, both, they kind of go hand in hand.
We've got a lot to promote. It is a challenging, equation.
Yes,
and
but I would have to go with the dunes.
Okay. I appreciate it. Thank you.
I would market recreation. As it's already been said, we've used logos sand, sea, forest, and lake, probably not in that order. But we can appeal to everybody here. We get a big family that comes in, somebody wants to go in the dunes, they can go on the dunes. Mom wants to sit and sun on the beach, she can sun on the beach. The kids want to go play in the forest, they can go play in the forest or still. Y'all think it's hot here. I don't know. But the point is, there's something for everybody. Not everybody is stuck to doing all the same thing. Like before you go out and stay in the dunes, everybody has to stay in the dunes, get sandy, some people get bored. Now we just have everything available, and it's from the campgrounds. You could just split ways. Not everybody has to go to one location. So yeah, the sand, sea, lake, and forest. I'm messing that up. I know it's one of those orders.
As a branding component for the
Yes.
city as we move forward, how would you say it's best to put that word out to the tourism community in the state of Oregon? What people want to come here for?
Well, let's go start with the ATVs, which has already started with what Ken Ireland has done. And like Jackie said, it's put us on the map. We're actually on, the Bay Area's Commerce map now. And people are starting to find out where we are. And people are coming in from other states and just around Oregon, just have a little piece. The beauty of, we're a gem.
Okay, good, thank you. I appreciate it. Sarah?
Oh boy, that's my Okay, so Lakeside is a recreational town at this current point in time. We have no other way to bring in money, as I'll keep saying, it's money. As much as a few years ago, I was against the ATVs. I have since kind of flip-flopped because I have noticed that I don't hear them racing past my house at 2 in the morning. So, but I think our rebrand should be all recreation. It should be the ATVs. It should be our beautiful lake and the neighboring lake. I myself, I prefer to go up in the Elliott in my Jeep and make a mess. So I think overall, the Lakeside should be a total recreation. Not just focus on the ATVs or just focus on the lake and the beautiful fish and blah, 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 blah. It should be everything because we really do have a total package. I mean, we've got that beautiful forest, beautiful lake, and beautiful sand dunes.
Yeah, like no other.
Yeah, it's fantastic.
Any ideas how to consolidate that into a message?
Well, our lovely city manager has brought up the idea of a city rebrand, and I'm totally on board with it. I think it's absolutely necessary, and as I have put on Facebook here recently, you know, we don't have matching signage, we don't have a clear-cut path our city is on or needs to take, and I'm all for a city rebrand, a new image. You know, I grew up, Lakeside was where the druggies were and the trailer parks, and it's not, I know that, but there's still, I told my mom I was moving here, and she goes, oh my God, don't move there, it's full of crackheads. So, it'd be nice for Lakeside to get a nice fresh image and bring in those tourist dollars and make the town wonderful.
Excellent. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Well, tourism is what drives our economy, and I think we can do everything we can to increase that. Our lake, our sand dunes, our ATV access, all of these things. And there's never been a concerted effort to tie all these things together and advertise them as a whole rather than just individual promotions. And I think we need to do that. And this the plan that our city managers come up with looks like a wonderful idea. Get the word out there that we have all of these wonderful things, not just one or two of them, but all the restaurants in town, everything. Promote what we've got. That's what I would like to see done.
And as so you're in favor for branding outdoor and recreation primarily?
Primarily, yes.
And the tourism?
Well, tourism, tourism is part of recreation.
It is. And it'll, with some of these things, the tourism will come. Do you have since you're an experienced member, do you have some ideas how we might achieve that focus branding that we need as a community?
Well, our city managers put out requested proposals to companies that do that kind of work and brand the city or the company or whatever we're dealing with and help us find ways to promote it. So we'll see what we have.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Okay, as you know, I'm against the spending $50,000 on a rebranding. I don't think it's necessary, and I don't think it's going to cost money this time. However, I do see Lakeside as a resort, not just a town or community, but as a full-blown outdoor recreational resort. We have the lake, of course, with the fishing and the water sports. We have the dunes. We also have closed dunes where we can conduct a lot of on-foot types of activities. We have a lot of potential here. We have, of course, access to the beaches and ocean, and we have the Elliott State Forest and the other forests around the lake back there. They give us the opportunity to do all kinds of outdoor sports, 4x4, cube clubs. And so we have a lot of recreation here that definitely want to utilize. You know, and just talking about the ATVs, you know, if you know where Saunders Lake is, I used to live over in the Saunders Lake neighborhood. That whole neighborhood is ATV accessible, and it really made a very lasting difference in the community. It changed the demographics of the community in the fact that everything was an old trailer and a bunch of trash piled out front was sold off because it was more valuable now. ATV access properties are more valuable and sought after. Anyway, they went and cleaned it all up. Naturally, it just cleans places up. And the beautiful homes, you ought to take a tour of the neighborhood sometime, and you can see what our future would be if we were to make it all green access. And I'm out of time.
So as a prospective council member, what do you see as the branding of our community? What would you like to see it be?
Put the name resort up there. And,
And so, good resort.
no, we're a resort. We should have it for being we have things that are very unique here that nobody else has, like our access to the dunes. You can't cross 101 with an ATV, but we have a road that goes under it. This makes it possible. This will bring in business all year because we have such an ambient climate. We have ATVs go here all year round. And that's a fantastic thing. So, anyway, I'll answer your question.
You did. Okay, I appreciate it very much. Okay, that concludes our oh, no, we're going back here. My time on that side. Okay.
All right. Oh, somebody's whining. As far as branding, I am all for it. I think it's very important. This is a gem. We have the forest, the dunes, we have the ocean, and it's also a retirement community, and I know a lot of people came here to retire and they like the quiet. And I think the two can get along. But I do think that we need the branding. They do advertising for us. It gets our name out there, and it is a large amount of money to invest, but it's worth it, and it will be. I think it will be returned with the tourism. We have so many reasons to come here, and even some of the people that are retired that are very upset with me right now, they bring their families here. They like their families to come here, and not all families want to go to the dunes, but we have the forest. We have the ocean. Not all families want to go to the ocean, but this beautiful lake, I think the lake is our biggest feature. It is right here in town, and you can access it from several spots. And I just think between the outdoor recreation and tourism, I think it's a go. I'm all for it.
And do you, so you're favoring a more broad-based branding, or would you be more in favor of a specific branding for the city?
Well, I think there should be one brand for the city, and I think that should go, but it should focus on all four of our little gems that we have here.
We've got a lot.
We do.
What would you, if you're going to focus on one,
Which one would it be? That's a tough one. Don't throw anything at me. I would say the lake. Yes. We have this beautiful lodge. We have, the growers have completely turned that around. You can go out, you can sit on the grass, you can go down to Wolfie Beach. There's things to do in town where you don't have to leave. People that want to leave, there's a route access to the dunes. So I would say the lake.
Yeah, we've got a real good problem in all of these resources to draw from. It's hard.
Yeah.
It's really hard to focus on.
It's hard to pick one, but that would be my main one would be the lake.
Thank you, Sean. Karen?
How can I follow that up? Okay, Lakeside City has it all. They've got the community, our community is a mixture of retired people, I'm one, working people, my husband Rooster's one, and the young people. Look at all the youth events that we had this summer. Thank you very much to the Lakeside Riders for getting that grant. We have a great lake that has boating, fishing, cruising, and relaxing available. The possibilities for more activities designed for waterfront are out there. The boat races, somebody had mentioned cardboard boat races, that's just off the dock here. There's other activities that can be scheduled for the lake. More fishing derbies for the young people, something to really get the lake going. When I first came up here, I didn't even know there was a lake here because there was no promotion of it. We have access to the Elliott Forest for hiking, mushroom hunting, and just cruising. Last winter when it snowed, my husband and his friends took their Jeeps up there and had a grand time playing in the snow. I don't like it, I stayed home. And then we also have access to the dunes. And the dunes provide family-friendly year-round, and it's a source of relaxation. I go out to the beach, and that's the only place my tinnitus isn't ringing in my ears, so it's healthy for me. I want to see Lakeside as a destination location to access all of the above, and also to attract new venues such as quilting retreats, business retreats that you can have year-round. Festivals like a chili festival. We had one in Red Bluff, California, and the chili was amazing in some and horrible in others. So we need a proper uniform logo, a proper advertisement promotion, and to steal my husband's motto that he had for his company, it should be just simply the best.
When you say a proper uniform logo, could you give us some insight on that?
Well, we're trying to get bids on people coming out here and taking pictures of everything, and then, because what I understand is past city managers would put up their own picture of what they wanted on their letterhead. And then the letterhead we have now, if you don't blow it up right, it looks really like a heart and veins stitching out. Yeah, varicose veins. So I'd like to have a uniform logo that it's on all of our paperwork, that it's on the side of the company vehicles, that we have coats and jackets that we can sell. And there's no other venues for that, like at Spin Reel and Steve's and even Walmart, we could sell Lakeside apparel there. So I will, just one logo that would fit everything. Like I said, it's simply the best.
I've seen some remarkable logos for Lakeside, but you're right, there's a good many of them.
Yes.
Yeah, they lack that continuity and focus. What would you, if I could ask, what would you, if you were to just on the fly, mention some components of the logo, what would you see in there?
Yeah, everything. It'd have to be like a good picture of the lake and maybe an ATV and the forest with a Jeep up there. And yeah, that's pretty busy. So it'd probably have to be more of a wording type of thing.
Hard to be all encompassing.
Yes.
I know that from some experience. Thank you very much. Are we through? Did you start, Brent? All right, maybe. You're good. Okay, so I think it's time for our intermission, yes?
Yes.
And we're going to go through some of the questions while that's happening. So everybody can stretch their legs and have a sip of whatever refresher bug. We're running pretty close to schedule. But there are so many questions that there's no way we're going to get through them tonight unless you want to be here till the early morning hours. And I did a quick poll and I got 2 no's and that was enough for me. So what we're going to do in lieu of that is we've just kind of randomly pulled 4 of them out, and we're going to pose those to the candidates, and then we're going to see that the candidates get all of the questions. And then there's one thing left to figure out here, and that's how the candidates are to answer all of those questions. And I think maybe somebody can come up with an online forum, or maybe there's a forum that exists where they can put their answers out there. Yeah. But nonetheless, before we start then, do any of the candidates have any ideas how you might be able to answer the questions that the community has that we can't get to tonight? Because most of them aren't endorsed. They're just questions that people want to hear answers from you on.
Oh my gosh. I would say if anybody has any questions for me, send me a private message, or my phone number's out there, you can text it to me.
Well, but what I'm asking is...
You mean tonight?
No, these questions, we're going to make sure that all of you get these questions.
Okay.
Okay. People would like to hear answers to the questions.
Why don't we put them in the Lakeside Stodian little paper blue that were prints?
If that's a thing, that's perfect. Okay, does that work?
I think that's probably the best option.
So what is that?
The Lakeside Stodian, I think is what it's called.
Lakeside Stodian.
Is that an online site?
No, it's a little dinner production, little thingy that she puts like McKay's and stuff.
Published.
Let's move on.
Well, you know what?
Why don't we? You have to do like an emergency one.
We could do it halfway through the month, special.
I'm sure she would do something.
I heard
We'll
you.
talk to them.
Okay, we'll see that you get the questions. You see that they get answers. How's that? Okay. All right, so I think we are at Mary, if I'm not mistaken, right? Okay. So,
Before he gets going, I got to be a little more strict on the time because we want to get through as many questions. So when I throw this up,
and
please.
I have volunteered to not further the program. Okay. Okay. idea that you want to implement and why, other than ATVs? So we're looking for ideas you might have outside of the ATVs or in addition to the ATVs, to, I assume, to promote and grow the city.
I would like to see the little rail cars like they do. Yeah,
The speeders
things.
or-
Yeah, like they do in Tokyo.
And what are those?
They're like the little bicycle things set on the railroad tracks, and you have to pedal your butt down and check out stuff that you can't see normally.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, that's my idea.
And I think we're to, no, that covers it. I'm not going to ask you any further questions so we can keep things moving. Alicia, did I get that right?
Yes.
Okay. So what is your best idea that you want to implement and why, other than the use of promoting ATVs, that would benefit the city?
Well, I think the town rebranding and having Lakeside have a set vision and promoting that vision will do a lot for Lakeside. I mean, yeah, ATVs help, but if we focus on promoting the recreation, as Kim used to say, Lakeside, the gateway to the outdoors.
Oh, that's a nice saying.
I think if we focus on that and market it, then we should be okay.
Okay, thank you. Sarah?
One thing that, I have two things that have crossed my mind. I would like Lakeside to see about having a dog park. There's lots of wild dogs running around, and I have reactive animals from a shelter, and it'd be nice to take my dogs somewhere to play. It'd be really easy to do here at City Hall. And I was also thinking about looking into what it would take for us to be registered as a Tree City USA maybe. And we might be able to get some kind of funding or grant if we became a tree city. It means that we're a city full of trees. Resource one, Manchester Bay, I think, I don't know if there was, but resource
cool
one.
thing.
It just means you're in town with so many trees and you take care of your trees, and you plant trees and.
We do that.
Oregon's a giant tree city, but I think there's some benefits.
Thank you very much. Now,
Well, marketing the city comprehensively, everything that we have.
I'm sorry, I couldn't hear you, so maybe some others.
Marketing the city in a comprehensive way, emphasizing everything that we have and not just one particular thing. Tourism, outdoor activities, bike trails, restaurants, airport, a lot of things here. And we need to promote those in a comprehensive way, not just piecemeal like what's been done in the past. And we need to get over our division that we've had going on in town here, and I hope we do this.
I'm in full support of that 100%. We need to get over the division that we have here. And maybe that'll happen, maybe it won't. But so promoting a comprehensive,
Comprehensive method of advertising us to be programs.
okay, thank you. Celine,
What was the question?
what is your best idea that you want to implement other than ATVs and why?
Well, I mean, this isn't a tourism thing, but I think we need to develop our emergency management a little bit better. I think we have some disasters that we're possibly facing in the up and coming, and I think we're as prepared as we could be or should be. And there's a lot to that one. But that one, to me, is very important.
Okay. Promoting EMS.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Sure.
Yes. Alicia, you read my mind. Seriously, I think the city's vision is something that really needs to be promoted. And it needs to have everything that we're about. And not just one, not just ATVs and not just the ocean, not just the trees. That Tree City USA, that's a very good idea. But I think the city vision, it really is a good thing, and I think it needs to be promoted.
City vision is your answer?
Yep.
All right, thank you.
Mavis.
Mavis has arrived.
Mavis has arrived. I would like to see Lakeside known as the location destination. I would like to see any quilters in here. I would like to see a quilting retreats. After I broke a hip and couldn't drive truck anymore, I learned to quilt, and I was amazed at how big the quilting world is. There's money to be made there. It's not buying the quilts, it's making them and having fun as you make them. So I'd like to see a quilting retreat here. I'd like to see more lake activities, something that can join together. You know, the wives can come here and quilt while the boyfriends and husbands go play on the lake or go play on the dunes. I'd like to see a convention center here, kind of a group where we can have quilting retreats, where you can have a business retreat, where you can have the Bass Lake Championships, and you have the award ceremonies there, because we don't know when they can do it. So that's what I'd like to do, is it has Lakeside as a destination location that does everything.
Community involvement.
Correct.
Jackie?
Do you want to repeat it one more time?
Yes. What is your best idea that you want to implement and why, other than the ATVs, or in addition to ATVs?
I agree with what Sherry said earlier. I think that it should be the lake, because she's right. It's in the middle of our city, it's in the middle of our town, and everyone has access to it. And it's great to go fishing with your kids. It's great to go swimming, paddleboarding, kayaking, and the cool thing is we have a little tiny canal that you can go from the South Lake to the North Lake, and everyone can have fun on it. So that would be my big one, is really just to promote the lake. Because once we promote the lake and get everyone coming to the lake, it opens up the town for businesses to have the tourism and the tax dollars and everything that we need.
Lake's kind of a big thing, right?
It is kind of a big thing, especially since there's two of them. I mean, technically one, because we have the canal.
I'm making sure that I got through everybody here, right? All right, so we're going to move on to the next question. This one's going to be quick and easy. A lot of it has already risen to the surface, but this is for really a good point of clarity. So you can answer with a simple yes or no, okay? And we hope that you will. So, what side are you on for the ATVs? So do you let me put it a little more clear to you. Are you in favor of the route that's being proposed? I presume that's what that's about. Or are you not in favor?
I am in favor.
Okay.
I'm in favor.
I'm in favor.
I'm in favor.
I'm totally in favor.
Can I elaborate?
You can.
Okay, I'm in favor as it is now, but should have been including the RV park and Osprey and past City Hall. So the way that they are putting it out now, I think corrects the error that was made with the first routes.
Okay. Fair enough, Alan?
Yes, I'm good on in favor of ATVs having access from the I think that's helpful for.
Can't quite hear you, Alan.
Okay, I am in favor of the ATV route from any road in town, not just the route that we have. And I think that helps our business a little bit, helps our city a little bit. Not a great deal, that's all. I think that's what we need to do.
So you're in favor of the route?
Oh, I'm very in favor of it for a long time. In fact, the more I studied, the more in favor of it I've become. Witnessed it firsthand how it can change an area. So I think it's very fair to let our citizens have the opportunity to be able to go from their homes out to the dunes and back. It really makes a big difference. I lived in the United States for quite a while, and it makes a difference on leaving things vulnerable in parking lots and all that. A lot of our citizens have a hard time loading stuff up in a trailer. And so it's been a barrier for a lot of them.
Well, I hope I've represented that question properly, because it was left a little open-ended, but I assume that whoever posed that, it was about the ATV route. It just says ATV.
Well, you call it a route. It's allowing people to go from.
Access to the route. Okay. All right. So our last question for this evening, and I came off a rant a little bit. I think we're to Alicia to start. I apologize because I didn't do that on the last one.
Well, I could have start
Just
on
gotta
the easy
move
one.
All right, how would you regain the trust? I'm gonna read the question and then I'm gonna insert what I think they're asking. How would you regain the trust of the citizens that seem to have been lost? And I'm assuming that's the trust of the community. It doesn't specify whether it's the city management or but as a council person, how would you regain the trust of the community?
Well, for one, being totally transparent, and being dependable on what side of an issue I'm on, which means I won't tell one person that I'm on this side of an issue and won't tell somebody on the other side of the issue that I'm with them. You'll know where I stand. I'm very decisive. And I will make decisions based on what's best for Lakeside, not on personal preferences. Yeah, I think the biggest thing is standing firm on my position. Because there's a lot of people that say one thing and do another. And that's we don't need that. We had enough of that. We need to move in the future and have a city council we can depend on to do what they say they're going to do.
For clarity. Okay, Sarah.
So I don't think I've actually lost the trust of anybody in this community. Most of the time, I've had people approach me out in public on a regular basis, and I'm more than happy to answer people's questions. So I think I'm already pretty transparent. I think remaining transparent is a good way to keep everybody's trust. And listening to the community and concerns the community has. I know when I was discussing the rebrand on Facebook, I made sure that people knew that there would be surveys and, get-togethers for the community to express their concerns. And I think that's a good way of keeping the community's trust is to involve them in our decision-making.
And let me soften that a little bit, because I don't believe it was pointed at council people. I believe it was pointed at, as a new member of the community myself, I had to get over some issues. I'm trusting that I'm safe in the community, so to speak, and that the community is a good and safe place. So let's go at it that way.
If you want to look at safety, I have never locked my doors in the 10 years I've lived in Lakeside. I would recommend coming to my house. I have some very large dogs.
But if you were one of those that had lost the trust, how would they know that you're going to regain their trust?
Well, I mean, that's pretty difficult. I mean, if you don't know me, I guess you could count on my trust or not, but I would hope that most people could come to me, be like, hey, hello, I don't have it.
Thank you.
That's a hard question. That's a good one.
Well, that is a hard question. And I hear lack of trust and corruption in the government, but I hear that from people that I never see at city council meetings, and I hear it from people that don't pay attention to what's going on. So I think people need to get involved a little more before they think there's a problem. And sometimes there is, sometimes there's not. But spend some time, make some effort, find out what's really going on.
Get involved. All right. Thank you, Alan.
I feel the time will tell on that. It's going to take time for people to feel a lot of confidence in our city council. Past councils have done things that weren't necessarily very nice to their citizens, and a lot of citizens have what I call PTSD from, being abused by the previous councils. And I don't mean like within the time I've been there, before that. We read a lot about the history, way back. Sometimes. History and then history. So anyway, it's going to take time for people to feel good about what's going on because they've been betrayed before. So I'm not sure it's something you can just manufacture, I don't know, out of the blue, just do this or that big fancy thing, other than just transparency and just do what's right and just stay the course.
I like transparency.
Yeah.
If any authors in here, it might be the subject of a good book. Okay, so the rest of the questions, I think.
No.
Oh, I gotta go up there.
This is your first time.
No, that's the fourth time.
Okay, so we're back to
Sherry.
Okay. I'm about transparency as well. I know there's a big division in this town, and there really shouldn't be. I would like to see the council and the community work together. I want people to feel like they can come and talk to us, talk to me. I'm available. I am approachable regardless of what you read. I'm available almost 24 hours a day. And, I mean, if you can't get me on the phone, make my dog bark. But it's all about transparency. You have to be, that was my bad, I'm sorry. I want everybody to get along. We need to move past the division and just work together. Like Alan said, come to the city council meetings and see what it's about. We're not playing favors. I'm not going to tell you that, you know, I'm not going to say, hey, I'm on this side and I'm on that side. I don't play that way. If you really want to know what I think about something, my husband will tell you, just ask me. If you don't want to know, don't ask me. So, because there's really no gray area. It's the way it is. Life's too short. Shut up. Okay, fine, I'm done.
Good. Follow that.
So mean.
The biggest thing in Lakeside that I've seen is fear of change and fear of not being able to get stuff done the way you want it to be done. People are afraid to tattle on their neighbors because of retribution. This town is run by complaint. That's what we were told when we first moved up here, is it was ordinances were forced by complaint. And if you complain about somebody, you put in paperwork at City Hall, and they find out whoever you're complaining about, then they'll come back and retribute.
I think I told you that.
Yeah, I think you did too. Because she did our groundwork. So I think the main thing to do is to get like a citizens neighborhood watch. I don't think the citizens patrol ready right now, but I think a neighborhood watch where you learn who your neighbors are, you learn the equipment that they have, whether they have cars or ATVs or pickup trucks. You know who makes the loud noises, you know who doesn't, you report back, and it gets taken care of. You know who doesn't belong in your neighborhood. So that's what I'm looking forward to, is like getting the neighbors watch so we can, you know, everybody gets to know one another.
Thank you. Jackie?
By the time you get to me, I've forgotten what the question is.
What a coincidence, so did I.
Answers.
Okay, so how would you, I'll read the question and I'll, how would you regain the trust of the citizens who
Okay, got it.
have lost?
Okay, got it. So, I'm new to being a city council member. I've never been on a city council, never been on a planning committee, but I am a very, very, very honest person. When I meet people and become friends with them, I let them know. Think before you ask me a question, because I am blunt honest. I don't hold back whatsoever. I will not sit down and tell you one thing to your face. I will not tell you, and you won't hear something behind back. The big division I see in this town is Facebook. Please, stop. If you want to know what is going on in our city, come to the city council meetings, go to the planning committees. There is time after those meetings to talk to your city council members, to talk to your planning committee. They don't just up and leave. If you want to know something, please go to City Hall and ask a question, because that's what we're there for. Because I hear a lot of talk, and I get asked quite a few questions. I'm like, if you go to the city council meeting, you would get all the answers that you want, because that's what we're here for. We're here to answer the questions. Me personally, if you have a question, I don't have an answer, I'll find the answer, and I will get back to you, and I will give you the answer I find. If you have another question, I don't have it, I'll go find it for you. That's what I'm about.
Thank you, appreciate it.
Good job.
You get to close this one, I think, right?
Yeah, well, everyone here pretty much answered that the same way I would. Transparency, honesty, trust, like all of that needs to happen. And yes, Facebook is the town's biggest enemy. There's too many keyboard warriors at home that talk a lot of crap, but don't have the bits to say to your face. And that is something that is not okay. If you have a problem with something or someone in neighborhood, on your street, what have you, come talk to them about it. Let's not spread rumors about each other. Let's be 100% straight up and honest with them. And I think that you'll get a lot further than backdooring them.
Thank you, I really appreciate it. Thank all of you very much. You've been a great audience. You've been very.
Again, I want to thank everyone here that stuck through this and came and gave your time to learn a little bit more about your candidates. It's really important to make informed decisions and not base your votes on what someone else.
Seemed fair.
Yeah.
Not to base your votes on things you heard on the street, and as much as possible base them on things you've heard in person or directly from candidates. So it's really important that you guys came out, and I appreciate that.
Are we gonna close them?
Yep, I'm getting there.
Darn.
The very last thing we're going to do tonight is let each one of these candidates, if they have one last statement to make, one more point to make that they haven't had a chance via these questions. You know, this is your freestyle moment. So I'd like to start at that end of the table with Charlene and just work our way this way.
I'll forget. I just wanted to say that, you know, Lakeside is a beautiful place and we don't want to lose its beauty and its classic way that it is. A lot of people have moved here from areas where the grounds we grew up on, the places where we used to live have been, you know, overgrown with cement, progress and developed and destroyed. We don't want to do that here. We want to make sure we preserve our beautiful community. At the same time, allow it to progress to such a degree that it makes it comfortable for us, but not destroys it. So it's a very, very fine line we have to balance. That's all good.
Thank you.
Well, as far as questions of trust or anything else, I'm available on Facebook Messenger, on there. Send me a message, I'll answer it the best I can. But it's me answering it, not the whole council, so be aware of that.
Thank you, Alan.
Okay, I could go all night, but I won't.
You got 2 minutes.
Same thing kind of what Alan said. I'm really easy to get a hold of because my phone number is literally on Main Street. I wouldn't expect anybody who wants to talk to me just to shoot me a text. Please don't call though. I don't like to answer my phone. And I kind of agree with Charlene that Lakeside has this wonderful Mayberry-esque feel to it, but you don't want the county to take it over because if you think your sewer rates are ridiculous now, wait until the county is in charge. So we need to keep Lakeside in a forward momentum. So keep it Mayberry, but bring in some economy, and that's it.
Thank you.
Alicia.
I already forgot. I just hope that we can move Lakeside in a forward motion and unify the community. Like it was said, Facebook is Lakeside's biggest enemy, and we do have a bunch of people that want to sit behind a computer, not show up, and just spread misinformation. We got to get more active. We got to get more people active in the community. I hope to be a part of a city council that could make decisions and move forward and not put things off. Anybody who knows me or can tell you, like Jackie asked me a question, I'll be blunt and honest. I won't sugarcoat anything, so be careful what you ask me.
Not quite as easy to get a hold of as other people at the table, but I am on Facebook Messenger as well. If anybody has any questions for me, then I'd be more than happy to answer them. And I just want to keep Lakeside, again, going in the forward momentum. I really hope that we can open the ATV route citywide. I think that would help tremendously, and I would just love to see more businesses come to town and more activities for everybody to get together and enjoy.
I just want to help keep the city of Lakeside, and, you know, just keep our community, in functioning and keep our city a city and not go to county. And if you vote for me, then I already told you everything you need to know. I'll get you an answer if you ask it. I'll be straight honest with you, and that's pretty much it. I'm pretty transparent. I am who I am, so.
I'm pretty new to the community with the COVID. I hadn't been out for a couple of years, and now that everything's opening up. I don't belong to any old boys network. I don't belong to any new boys network. I will, if I can't find an answer that you ask me a question, I'll go find it and get back. I don't mind coming to your place and having coffee or meet you down at the lodge or up the Creek Tavern or whatever. If you're strolling by on North 11th and you see the Looney Dunes, why come and see me? I'm usually home. That's the name of our place, is Looney Dunes. So just knock on the door, we'll have fun and talk things over. I'm open to new ideas, and whatever the city votes, even if it's not what I want, I will support what the city votes for. That's what councilors do. You know, we have opinions and we can express them, but when the city votes, that's it. So I will do whatever you guys wish me to do, and I will find out whatever you don't need to, you don't know that I can get you to. Does that make sense?
Yep,
Okay.
perfect.
Thank you very much.
We know what you mean.
Last but not least,
Yeah.
Last but not least,
Okay.
well, I don't know if I can't even come close to filling James's shoes. He's just a remarkable guy. I would say I do have an open door policy. Unfortunately, I don't have an office. But everybody pretty much knows where I live. Follow the barking dogs. My phone number's out there. I am on Facebook. Not commenting anymore. I quit engaging, but I do have time as I can at City Hall, even though I don't have an office.
with someone else.
Seemed fair.
Not to base your votes on things you heard on the street. It is much possible based them on things you've heard in person or directly from candidates. So it's really important that you guys came out, and I appreciate that.
Can we get closing?
Yep, I'm getting it.
Darn.
The very last thing we're going to do tonight is let each one of these candidates, if they have one last statement to make, one more point to make that they haven't had a chance via these questions. Yeah, this is your freestyle moment. So I'd like to start at that end of the table with Charlene and just work our way this way.
I'll forget that.
I just wanted to say that, Lakeside is a beautiful place, and we don't want to lose its beauty and its classic way that it is. A lot of people have moved here from areas where the grounds we grew up on, the places that we used to live, have been, overgrown with cement, progress, and developed and destroyed. We don't want to do that here. We want to make sure we preserve our beautiful community. At the same time, allow it to progress to such a degree that it makes it comfortable for us, but not destroys it. So it's a very, very fine line we have to do. That's all. I'm good.
Thank you. Well, as far as questions of trust or anything else, I'm available on Facebook Messenger, on there. You can send me a message, I'll answer it the best I can. But it's me answering it, not the whole council, so be aware of that.
Okay, I could go all night, but I won't.
You got 2 minutes.
Same thing kind of Alan said, I'm really easy to get hold of because my phone number is literally on Main Street. I would expect anybody who wants to talk to me just to shoot me a text. Please don't call though, I don't like to answer my phone. And I kind of agree with Charlene that Lakeside has this wonderful Mayberry-esque feel to it, but you don't want the county to take it over because if you think your sewer rates are ridiculous now, wait till the county is in charge. So we we need to keep Lakeside in forward momentum. So keep it Mayberry, but bring in some economy, and that's it.
Alicia?
I just hope that we can move Lakeside in forward motion and unify the community. Like was said, Facebook is Lakeside's biggest enemy, and we do have a bunch of people that want to sit behind a computer, not show up, and just spread misinformation. We gotta get more people active in the community. I hope to be a part of a city council that can make decisions and move forward and not put things off. Anybody who knows me can tell you, like Jackie asked me a question, I'll be more honest. I won't sugarcoat anything, so be careful what you ask me.
Not quite as easy to get a hold of as other people at the table, but I am on Facebook Messenger as well. If anybody has any questions for me, then I'd be more than happy to answer them. And I just want to keep Lakeside, again, going in the forward momentum. I really hope that we can open the ATV route citywide. I think that would help tremendously, and I would just love to see more businesses come to town and more activities for everybody to get together and enjoy.
Thank you.
I just want to help keep the city of Lakeside, and, just keep our community, in functioning, and keep our city a city and not go to county. And if you vote for me, then I already told you everything you need to know. I'll get you an answer if you ask it. I'll be straight honest with you, and that's pretty much it. I'm pretty transparent. I am who I am, so.
I'm pretty new to the community with the COVID. I hadn't been out for a couple of years. And now there are things opening up. I don't belong to any old boys network. I don't belong to any new boys network. I will, if I can't find an answer that you ask me a question, I will find it, get back. I don't mind coming to your place and having coffee or meet you down at the lodge or at the Creek Tavern or whatever. If you're strolling by on North 11th and you see the Looney Dunes, why come and see me? I'm usually home. That's the name of our place, is Looney Dunes. So just knock on the door, we'll have fun and talk things over. I'm open to new ideas, and whatever the city votes, even if it's not what I want, I will support what the city votes for. That's what councilors do. We have opinions and we can express them, but when the city votes, that's it. So I will do whatever you guys wish me to do, and I will find out whatever you don't know that I can get to. Does that make sense?
Yep.
Okay.
Perfect.
Thank you very much.
We know what you mean.
Okay.
Last but not least.
Yeah.
Last but not least,
Okay.
well, I don't know, I can't even come close to filling James' shoes. He's just a remarkable guy. I would say I do have an open door policy. Unfortunately, I don't have an office. But everybody pretty much knows where I live. Follow the barking dogs. My phone number's out there. I am on Facebook. Not commenting anymore. I quit engaging, but I do have to defend myself a little bit once in a while. I just want to see Lakeside go forward and just keep on keeping on. The division needs to go away. There's too much. I love the keyboard warrior theory because that's something I'm always saying. Just get a hold of me. I offered to buy one citizen a cup of coffee. Never met them in my life. Offered to buy them coffee. They said no way. But come talk to me. Shoot me a message. Catch me on Facebook. see me out in the yard, stop by and talk to me. I'm pretty available. And I will try to spend as much time as I can at City Hall, even though I don't have an office. But I was told it's a work from home job since it's volunteer. But I do. I really want to see the community come together. There's so much good that can come from this community. And I think we have a pretty darn good council sitting right here. So please don't vote by Facebook, please. Facebook could close tomorrow and I'd be the happiest person in the world, other than getting to see my babies. But I just please get out and vote. Don't believe people that say don't vote. Go vote.
All right, so this wraps up our planned meeting. We have the space here. If you guys want to stick around and speak with any of these folks, you're welcome. We have lots of cookies and coffee and stuff back there that I don't want to take home. So sneak the little envelopes and cookies home with you and stuff like that. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.